Ever find yourself with a loaf of stale bread and go, what am I going to do? How about some homemade croutons that will take your salad to the next level? Let's get cooking with style. You know, there's nothing more frustrating to me than to go on a trip, which is what I just did, and come back and have a half loaf of bread that has gone stale. So what am I going to do? I'm going to make some croutons, and they'll be the best croutons you've ever had. I've gone ahead and made 6 cups of diced up pieces of bread, about 1 inch in size. That's the base for what we're going to do. And it's this simple. We've got a little bit of garlic, we've got black pepper, and we've got fine sea salt. If you want to use table salt, that's fine. That'll work just as well. And then because we're using everything in the fine form, I'm going to take my Italian seasonings and I'm going to grind them up in my fingers and hand like this so they kind of blend in with those seasonings that I have in there. That's all ready to go. And now for the breadcrumbs, okay, or I should say croutons. We're going to put a little bit of oil over the top, about 1/4 cup. Why am I doing this first? Because I want the croutons to get coated with the oil at first. And then I'm going to take my spices and herbs and I'm going to give it a good mix, and then I'm going to put that into my hand so I can give it a nice spread over the top. Get it mostly covered, give it a little toss, because if you do it just on one side, then those croutons will get all the seasoning and the other ones won't. Take the rest, put it in there, and I'm telling you, it is this easy, but boy, oh boy, these are the best croutons you will ever have. And like my photographer, Shawn Styles, says, they're great for snacking too. So we've got our oven preheated. We're going to put these onto a baking sheet, spread them out, and these are going to go in for about 10 minutes, and then we'll check on them and give them a little turn. The oven is preheated to 375. In they go, and keep an eye on them. All right, let's get these out of the oven and give them the first turn. You can see how they're getting a little golden brown and the center is not, so we're going to move these around. And this is the critical stage where you really have to pay attention, because you don't want to turn these into little briquettes. So back into that 375-degree oven for about another 8-10 minutes. All right, let's take a look. That's what golden brown is. I'm going to set these aside and let them cool before we put them in a salad. So there's our croutons, and that's really how we're going to elevate this salad. Well, of course, we have Molly's Creamy Italian, but just a little romaine, some green tops of scallions, some avocado. I mean, this is as basic as it gets, but we're going to elevate it to make it that much more special. And by putting these croutons in before you put the dressing, they get to soak that up. A nice little dash of that over the top. We're going to give this a nice little toss. And I mean, this is all just the basics, right? It's nothing special here, but I'll tell you what, those croutons are going to take this salad to a whole different level. And that's what's going to make the difference. It's kind of like a deli sandwich. It's all about the bread, right? Everyone can get deli meats, but it's the bread that makes the difference, and get all those goodness flavors in there. And then we're just going to take this and finish it off with a little Parmesan cheese on top. And that, my friends, is a perfect summer salad with some homemade croutons. I'm telling you what, you're going to love this, and it's going to save you some money because you're not going to throw out that stale old bread. If you'd like the recipe for these homemade croutons, you can go to our website, cbs8.com/recipes. Enjoy.